based on some of the assignments you guys are working on in Studio, I think it's really important to cover basic axonometric construction in Rhino. We'll also do a separate one for the AutoCAD version. So if you're not using the sort of shear commands that are called out in one of the previous tutorials, we're going to go over just basically how to construct an axonometric from scratch using the sort of dimensions that are around this object. So the first thing that I want to do is go into here, and we're just going to go to duplicate edge, and we're going to select our whole bottom. So this is going to be the same thing as selecting your base plan that you're working with. So we're going to just hit enter there, and then we'll drag this over in our top view, and we'll just do a join. So now the key thing that we're always looking at with an axonometric is that we're going to rotate this. We're going to rotate it -45. So your plan information is always going to stay exactly the same. And now what we can actually do is we can go into here and we can look for, there's a couple of different ways to do this. Since we're just looking at a rectangle here, what we can do is we can just draw a line here, and then if we actually wanted to rotate this line totally down, it's now in my plan view, and what we can do is we can move this over and basically just copy and paste it to all of our edges here, and then we can copy and paste that there. So this would be the basic axonometric construction of that object without doing any information from my 3D object and without sort of switching it around. So now what we can do is we can go into here, we'll just actually explode this, we'll get rid of these two lines, and then we can get rid of this line, then we can go ahead, we'll actually explode this. So we'll make my profile into one line, and then we'll make the three of these, so the three of these will go onto a different layer, so that when we line weight, we can line weight our profile here, and then we can line weight our exterior edges here. Some other useful tips and tricks for how to draw in the Axo view. So if we have this, and let's say we want to add, a little detail here. So what we can do is, if we start a polyline and we click on an endpoint, you see how we're sort of just floating in space. So if we type our less than sign, and then we type 45, what that's going to do is it's only going to allow us to draw in 45-degree increments. So it'll automatically snap to all of your 45s. So it'll allow you to draw a line straight at a 45, the other direction. So if we wanted to draw a line at an exact length, what we can do is we can call out, so we can type the @ symbol, then let's type 1, and then we can type less than, and we can type 45, and that will give us a line here that's going to be exactly 1 inch. It's going to be going off in the 45-degree orientation. So some really useful information is actually here on this page. So it's called, the page is called Accurate Modeling or Accurate Drawing. The URL is here. So you can feel free to dig through this. This goes over distances, angle constraints, distance and angle, which is what we did last, and then finally direction lock. It gets into some more three-dimensional stuff here, which you don't necessarily need to get into, but these two are definitely worth looking into for the sake of drawing both in Axo and isometric.